Hi, thank you for having us today. My name is Dulce Willerson, and she's my mother.
My name is Maria.
And we are the owners of Whip and Mix. So, funny story, I have an apple tree in my backyard and I started baking some apple pies, apple empanadas, on a recipe that by mistake I created because I made a mistake when I followed the recipe, and it was the best recipe for empanadas and for apple pies. And people start liking my business, liking my baking, and I start having a lot of orders. So I invited my mom to be part of it, and here we are. Now we have a backyard cafe.
Lo que más me gusta es la convivencia con mi
What
hija.
I like the most is spending time with my daughter,
Trabajar juntas,
working together,
compartir ideas
share ideas,
y ver que a la gente le gusta lo que hacemos.
and to see that the people like what we're baking. I moved to the United States exactly 13 years ago from Mexico. We're Mexicans. I moved here because I want to continue growing in my career. The economic situation in Mexico was not the best, and a lot of things happened. And so I decided to move 13 years ago. My father followed me 2 years later, and my mother a year after my father.
¿Tú estudiaste en México cursos?
Uh-huh.
Yo también estudié.
We both took some baking classes in Mexico.
Y ahora tomamos cursos online para aprender más.
And now we're taking some online classes too to continue learning.
Yeah.
So we have a license to have our business from home. So first we start as a little bakery where you come and order your goodies or pick up some goodies, and people start saying, you have a beautiful backyard, and my imagination kept start just rolling and rolling, like, what about if we have people sitting outside? So we start with 2 tables, now I have like 5 tables, and then I adding coffee, now hot chocolate, so we are growing. So during the winter, of course, the backyard cafe is closed. You cannot sit outside because Minnesota, it's very cold, but the bakery inside it's open. Yeah, and we're gonna be open when the weather allows it. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna start with you sharing the ingredients. Fruit tartlets have a process, okay? There's one, it's like a little mini pies that you eat cold. They're delicious. So the first thing that we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you the ingredients of the first part that we have to cook. Then we will move to the second part, okay? The first part, we're gonna start with the pastry cream, okay? So we need 2 cups of milk. We need half of the butter, that it will be 1, 2, 3, 4 tablespoons of butter. We need cornstarch, and I'm sorry about my accent, so if I say it wrong, I apologize. We're gonna divide the eggs because we need 5 egg yolks, okay? So I'm gonna show you how to divide that. We need, sugar is to taste. I personally don't like it too sweet, but people like it too sweet. So I have like a cup of sugar in here, and we need butter, vanilla, sorry. So the first thing that we're gonna do, let me show you here, I'm dividing the eggs, okay? So egg white goes in a different container, and we put egg yolks. So be careful when you're dividing the eggs with the egg white and the egg yolk, because we want it to be just mostly egg yolks, okay? So the egg whites, we won't need it at all, okay? So now that we have this divided, you can see the ingredients for the pastry cream. We have milk. We will need 4 spoons of butter, what I'm gonna cut right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, egg yolks, sugar, and vanilla. So the first step to do, besides dividing this, we're gonna go to the stove. Okay, awesome. Next step, okay? So we have our eggs. You remember that we divided the egg yolks. So now we're gonna add the sugar, and we're just gonna mix it until it's all mixed together, okay? This is one of my favorite parts because it doesn't require too much effort, but you have to be sure that they start turning in a little light color. So if you see the egg yolks were really bright, then the more that you mix, the lighter that they're gonna turn. When this is ready, as you can tell how it's looking, and you want the sugar to dissolve as much as we can, okay? Anyway, it's gonna keep dissolving when we mix it with the milk. Then we're gonna add a couple spoons. So then when the sugar and the eggs have the consistency that we want, like this, we're gonna add 3 spoons of cornstarch, okay? And this is to to make it thick. So when we mix it with our milk, we're gonna have a beautiful mix, okay? So we have this. Look at the color that we're getting of our egg yolks, sorry. And then the last thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna add a little bit of vanilla. And when I say a little bit, it's just a little bit because we don't want to make it extremely like sour flavor, okay? So we do this, and this is the consistency that we want. You see? So now we know that this is ready to go to the next step. My mom is working on the milk. We are gonna wait until the milk is ready because we're dissolving the butter in the milk. We cannot mix this when the milk is totally hot. Why? Because then the eggs, we're gonna cook the eggs. And we don't wanna cook the eggs with the hot milk. Okay, so the rest of the ingredients are here. For this recipe, you will need a lot of space to be working and rolling your dough, okay? So as you can see here, we set all our stuff at the side, and we need a roller pin, butter, 100 grams of confectionery sugar, 2 cups of flour, and I think that that's it what my mother needs. I'm gonna give you a tip on baking, something that I love. My roller pin. This is not mine because mine is very heavy. I use ceramic roller pin. And the reason it is because when you're working on our kitchen, and if you have the oven on, or especially in this house in Minnesota, we'll have the heat on in the house, your dough and your ingredients can start warming up. So get a ceramic roller pin, put it in the freezer. When you're gonna use it, get it out of the freezer and just start using it. That's gonna give a better consistency to all the doughs that you're managing. Okay, so the milk is ready. We have to take it away from the stove. Remember what I told you, we cannot leave it on the stove because then our eggs are gonna cook. So then, this is magic. We're gonna start mixing this in here. Don't stop moving, okay? That's very, very important. If you stop moving, the eggs are gonna cook. So you can see everything is dissolving. And at the beginning, it's gonna be like this, watery. So then when everything is in it, you're gonna bring it back to the pan and you're gonna continue mixing. But since we have to wait to have it cool down and everything, I made my own at home and I brought it already made, so you know how it's gonna look, okay? This is how it has to be looking. So you see, it's like a cream, not like a little, sorry about that. It's like a cream. So this is the consistency that you wanna achieve on your pastry cream, okay? You have to go back to the stove, keep moving and moving and moving, and eventually it's gonna turn out like this. When you are done and the pastry cream looks just like this, you're gonna put a little bit more of butter. When I say a little bit, it's just like 1 spoon of butter on top. You're gonna spread all on top and you're gonna cover it with plastic wrap. The reason is because if you don't cover it with plastic wrap, you're gonna have a little layer, like a hard layer on top. And you don't want that to happen. You want it to look just like this, okay? This is the first step to be cooking or when on the process or baking or fruit tartlets. Okay, so now my mom is gonna keep going with the second part, that it is the dough. Vente para acá.
Para las tartaletas necesitamos
For the fruit tartlets, we need
una barra de mantequilla.
butter, is 8 spoons of butter, 100 grams of confectionery sugar, as I mentioned before, 2 cups of flour, butter,
And 1 egg.
and 1 egg.
En la batidora vamos a poner la mantequilla.
In the mixer,
Ajá.
we're gonna put the butter. The butter has to be room temperature, okay? And I'm gonna put it back in the mixer, okay? And we need this one, okay? Another tip, this is when you're gonna mix something. This is when you're gonna make bread, okay? So don't confuse it. So we're gonna use this in the mixer.
Batir hasta que esté blanda.
Okay, we have to mix it until it's all very, very soft. Okay, let's see how is it going. So my mom has speed it up, okay? So do not overspeed it and don't mix it for too long because then you're gonna melt it, okay? So you have to keep checking on it, and I'm gonna bring the bowl so you can see what's the consistency that we want for the butter. So this is the consistency that we want out of the butter, okay? We don't want it all melted, but just like this.
Agregamos el azúcar glass.
Okay, she's gonna start adding the confectioner sugar while it's mixing. So 1 spoon at a time, okay? To slow speed. So it's 1 spoon at a time, no slow speed.
Remover bien.
Okay, so my mom makes the sugar, and now what she's doing is she's cleaning the bowl, so you don't want to have any of the butter on the bowl.
Se le agrega un huevo.
We're gonna add 1 egg. So every time that you're mixing eggs, open the egg in a different container, just to be sure that the egg it's good. Okay?
Okay.
So you don't want to waste all the stuff that you made before.
Volver a batir.
And then she's gonna mix again. Okay. So a lot of the recipes also that we're making, they were taught by my grandma. She was a big baker. So she passed the recipes to my mother, and then my mother shared to me. So a lot of the things that we do have special secret ingredients, but today we'll show you exactly how we made the fruit tartlets in case you want to do it for this Thanksgiving or for any holiday that is coming. Also, pastry cream can be made with a lot of different flavors. Like today we made vanilla, but when you're mixing your milk, you can add a slice of cinnamon. It gives a really good flavor. Or orange peel. So then you have orange pastry cream, or the essence that you want to, you can add it. But always add just a little bit, because the milk and the heat is gonna increase the flavor, okay? So just as a little bit. Okay, very important, the egg that we add to that mix, it has to be in room temperature.
Vamos a agregar una cucharada de vainilla.
So now she's gonna add 1 spoon of vanilla to the same mix that she was making.
Cuando está ya bien mezclado el huevo con la mantequilla y el
When the
azúcar,
butter it's all mixed with the sugar and the vanilla and the egg,
vamos a agregar la harina
she's gonna start adding the flour
poco a poco.
1 spoon at a time, little by little.
Velocidad baja.
Slow speed.
Ajá. No batir demasiado.
You don't have to overmix.
Y quiero que tomen mucha atención en este punto.
And I really want you to put a lot of attention in this step.
Okay. Vamos a agregar la mitad de la harina.
We're gonna add half of the flour,
O sea, una taza.
what is 1 cup,
Batiendo a velocidad baja.
mixing at slow speed.
Ok. Solo que se integre la harina.
We don't want it all dissolved, we just want it added to the mix, okay? She knows this process. I don't know how to make this one, so I'm learning at the same time than you, okay?
Continuamos agregando el resto de la harina.
We continue adding the rest of the flour. If you see, even though she says step by step, she didn't let it mix for too long. After we added the second,
Agregamos el resto de la harina.
we add the rest of the flour,
Ok.
okay?
Y paramos el
And now
batido.
she's gonna stop mixing,
Ok.
okay? She's gonna bring the bowl here.
Nuestra masa en la mesa de trabajo.
Okay, so we're gonna put our dough or mix on our table,
Ok. Y vamos a juntar.
and we're gonna mix together.
Es muy importante no sobrebatir la masa,
It's very important to not overmix the dough, okay?
porque te va a quedar dura
Because then it's gonna get really hard,
y va a ser difícil extender la masa.
and it's gonna be really hard to work it out. I'm gonna show you the molds that we use while my mother is mixing it.
Ya.
Okay, we have different sizes, of course. We brought these ones today.
Es la normal que más nos piden y la que
This
hacemos.
is the regular size that most people ask for, okay? That seriously, I can eat a big one, just like no problem.
Si se dan cuenta, es juntar la masa.
If you notice this, we just are putting it, like getting it all together.
No amasar demasiado.
You don't have to overmix it.
Ok.
And if you see, she's doing it very slow. Because one thing that we always said, you have to treat it with love,
Ok.
okay? You have to really love what you're doing so you can see how beautiful it turns.
Cuando ya la masa está junta,
When it's all together,
ok. Aquí está ya.
you can see
Hacemos
them
un rollo,
we make a little roll, we shape it in a roll.
ok. Lo envolvemos en papel de Ziploc con una bolsa de Ziploc.
You
Se
can put it
pone,
in a Ziploc bag.
ok. Poner en el refrigerador por 10 minutos,
You have to put it in the fridge for 10 minutes.
ok. Y este es el resultado.
And now we're gonna show you how it looks after.
Ya después de 10 minutos que ha estado la masa en el refrigerador,
After 10 minutes that the dough was in the fridge.
hay muchas formas de hacer las tartaletas.
There's a lot of different ways to make
Esta es la
tartlets.
forma para mí más fácil de hacerlo.
This is the easiest way for me to bake.
Ok,
to make.
tomo una porción de masa,
I get a little portion of dough,
extiendo,
roll.
ok,
You want some?
como les digo, hay diferentes
Like
maneras.
I'm telling you, there's different ways to do.
Poner un poco de aceite en su...
We add a little bit of oil on the
Okay.
pan.
Ponemos la masa sobre el molde
We
y con mucho cuidado,
cover the mold and very carefully
ok, hacemos esto.
we
ok.
do this. You see how pretty it's
Ok.
looking?
Y este es el proceso de la tartaleta.
And this is the process
Okay.
of the fruit tartlet.
Se hornean por
We have to put it in the oven now for 20 minutes. Which temperature?
350 grados.
350 Fahrenheit degrees.
Uh-huh.
We put it in the oven for 20 minutes. These ones go in the middle. So 20 minutes later, we got
Después de 20 minutos,
them out of the oven.
este es el resultado. Se dejan enfriar.
This is how they look, and you have to let them cool. Okay.
Ok. Y este es el resultado de la
And this is
tartaleta.
how the fruit tartlet looks.
Ok.
Okay. So I made it last night, so it's cold. So I'm gonna mix it a little bit so it's creamy and it's easier for us to put it on the plate and the fruit tartlet.
Lo correcto es volverla a poner en la batidora.
Okay, so my mom's saying like the best thing to do is put it back in the blender, in the mixer.
Ajá.
Mix it.
Poner en una duya,
Uh-huh.
en un, ¿cómo le llaman?
In a zip and like in a little, like a pastry bag.
Ajá.
Uh-huh.
Ok, no
So
te
you
creas.
see the difference from out of the fridge, cooked the night before, to this. Okay, so you do that.
Ajá.
This is what you do. Okay,
La forma que más te guste.
and you decorate on the way that you like it the most. You can add chocolate. You can add a little mint leaf to have some green and looks better. Whatever you want to add, it will look good. And they are delicious. I hope you like them. So we have all this on our kitchen, on our bakery every Saturday. We are open from 8:30 till the last, but you have to be there early because last Saturday we opened at 8:30. At 10:30 we were sold out. Why? Because it's delicious. As you can tell, we do everything with a lot of love. We use all natural ingredients. We don't use anything out of a can. The only reason why we would use something from a can or pre-bake if somebody is asking for an ingredient or a fruit that is out of season.
Yeah.
Okay, but all of the ingredients are fresh. We buy local. That's because we want to support our local businesses. Whip and Mix is it's at my house, 1315 Fifth Avenue. You just go by down all the way from Burger King. You take the street to downtown. Right after the curve, the second house in the right. You park in the alley. You go by the back door. It's open. That's on Saturdays, 8:30 till the last. Like I said, arrive early because probably we're going to be sold out very fast. Also, my phone number is 507-360-0273. And you can find us on Facebook, Whip and Mix, and send me a message and we will take your order right away. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.